Hey everybody, today we are going to be discussing a game that I finally just beat, and I am so excited about this because it's one of the most famous RPGs ever, and I am very proud to say I just beat it. So that game would be Chrono Trigger, and this game was phenomenal. So we're going to talk about it. I bought this game probably 2 or 3 years ago on DS. This is the only version I have. I don't have the Super Nintendo version, and I'm actually okay with that. I mean, it is a phenomenal game. If I were to find it at a great price, I would probably pick it up, but this is a great way to play it. So, because I did play it on the go all the time. So anyway, this game is great. I bought it at my favorite pawn shop, and I got it for about $20, so I thought that was a pretty good deal. Considering, I mean, it's not ridiculously rare, but it's not a game you're gonna find for $5, so whatever. Anyway, so if you do see this, it's worth it to pick it up. It's totally worth it. It's good. So I want to discuss all the elements of it, and for starters, I just want to get it out there. But the music was so good. So basically, I wrote his name down because I can't remember. I mean, I know Nobuo Uematsu, who is famous for Final Fantasy. He did the music, but it was mostly Yasunori Mitsuda. And I need to really look him up and sort of figure out what else he's done. But yeah, it was basically the two of them, mostly I think Yasunori Mitsuda, but great music, phenomenal music that stays with you forever. Like, I will never forget certain songs in this. Wow, it's great music. Everything from, I mean, the music, it fit every era that you would travel in. So basically, this game is a time travel game. If you haven't figured that out, I'm sure most of you guys know that. But it's a game where you have to basically save the world like every other RPG. But the reason why it's so cool is that you go through different eras in time. So there's, one era where you're in 2300 AD, so you're in the future, and it's like not a good time. It's all, apocalyptic, and the world's gone to shit. And then there's, you can go to like 65 million BC, and even though it's not historically accurate, there's like cavemen and dinosaurs and stuff, and it's really cool. You get to see all sorts of different eras and meet basically everybody in your party, with the exception of a couple that are from the same era. But you meet different people from different eras throughout time, and they basically join your party and help you save the world. So really, really a different concept. I mean, usually you meet people as you adventure in RPGs, and you go, save the world and stuff. But they're all people you meet in the same time. There is no time traveling. So this is really cool to have, there's Robo, who's from the future, and then there's Isla, who's from 65 million BC, and she's sort of like a cave person, a cave woman, and she's super fun. She was probably my favorite character. I don't know, I just really liked her. Something about her, and she was super strong. Like, I had her in my party pretty much the entire time. Yeah, so really cool characters. I mean, I'm sort of scattered. I'm all over the place here, but it's just because I just beat this game a couple days ago, and I'm just sort of like, I'm fresh off beating it, and wow, just what a fantastic game. I mean, it's funny because I went to go see Video Games Live about 5 months ago, something like that. And I played Chrono Trigger, and I mean, at the time I wasn't playing it, and I had played some of it before, but it wasn't until actually this February that I said, no, I'm sick of not playing this game. Like, what is that? I'd only played 3 hours. I had put it down, and not because I got bored, but it's because something else happened, and then it just got, I don't know, 3 hours, and that was it. And now I said, no, I'm going to beat Chrono Trigger. And I did, and I'm so excited. I think it took me just under 30 hours to beat, I think. Like 28 hours. I mean, the final boss took me a few tries. I'm not going to admit, I am going to admit that it was really annoying. I had to just go do some level grinding, and it was no big deal. And I did beat Lavos. But yeah, this game is not really that long as far as RPG standards. I mean, there are RPGs that are like 80 hours long, and that's like just the story alone, no side quests. So this game is, if you are looking for a shorter RPG that's amazing, Chrono Trigger is good. I mean, perfect time in my opinion. It wasn't too long and it wasn't too short. It felt perfect to me. I mean, I kind of wish every RPG to some extent was like 30 hours long or 25 hours because, I mean, you just go through it and you can play a new game. So, yeah, this game's great. I mean, it is originally for the Super Nintendo, and what I love so much about the DS version, I know they've put Chrono Trigger actually pretty much on every platform possible. I mean, it's you can get it on an Android phone or on iOS, so it's available everywhere, which I think is great because it means there's really no excuse to not play it. Pretty much anybody can get this game. I mean, the DS cartridges are all over the place. You can find them. Not so much at EB Games, GameStop, but I haven't really seen Chrono Trigger in there for a long time. But you can, it is possible you can get it. So don't worry. I mean, the Super Nintendo cartridge is a little pricey, but you can get it on this. You can get the PlayStation 1 version. It comes with Final Fantasy IV, but I believe that it's horrible. I've just heard off people's videos that they just didn't do a good job putting it on the PlayStation, so I don't know what that's about. I don't have that, so maybe I don't recommend that. I don't know, but get the DS one. I think it's on the Virtual Console. Not 100%, but I'm pretty sure I've seen it when I was flipping through. So you can get this anywhere, and it actually hasn't made the cartridge price go down, so that's neat. So if you do have the original cartridge, yay. But yeah, you can definitely find this. Relatively, as far as difficulty level, I thought this was like perfect. What I love, because I'm not a huge level grinding person, I just love going through a story. What I thought was fantastic about this game was that there was really no level grinding at all. Basically, when you went through the game, you naturally just leveled up, and when you were timed for time to beat another boss, perfect. You were already at the level. It didn't matter. I never worried like, oh, I need 2,000 more experience points. Like, I never really checked that ever. There were only a couple times, but I literally mean out of 30 hours, like 2 times where I ever had to do that. So, I mean, the end boss, I had to go back and do some level grinding because I was playing it on my 3DS, and I was ready to throw my 3DS like out the window. Like, I was getting so pissed off. Like, I just want to beat Chrono Trigger, and I'm just like, anyway. So yeah, that was one of the most satisfying endings in a game. I don't know. Like, maybe you guys will disagree, but the end credits sequence, it goes on forever, but it's not boring, and they go through all sorts of things. Basically showing what happens to different characters and stuff, and it felt like I was really watching a movie. This is an RPG that literally, if this was a movie, it would be a great movie. Like, you know, seriously, like, this could be like a really great Studio Ghibli movie. I don't know, I love the story so much in this game. I want them to it felt like I played a movie. Like, I really grew to like the characters. I don't know, that's what it seriously felt like. I felt actually pretty upset when I beat this, because it was like, how am I done this? I'm like, no more Robo, no more Frog. Like, I don't know, it was kind of sad. So, there's some great moments in this game. And as far as, oh yeah, sorry, I was going to talk about this, but because it's from Super Nintendo, they actually kept the original, like, graphics from the Super Nintendo. And the reason that's so important to me is because it kept it true to itself. It is still Chrono Trigger. They put Final Fantasy IV on the DS, and I hated the way it looked. So that's just personal. I know it's the same game, but I just couldn't stand the way they made them all new 3D graphics, and I just thought it kind of looked terrible. So this is like exactly the same way it looks on the Super Nintendo. The only thing that is different is that because you have dual screens, it's not all jumbled into one. So your menu for fighting is on the bottom screen, so it makes everything a little bit nicer to view. But yeah, this game, amazing. Another thing about the gameplay, no random battles. It's still turn-based, but I love no random battles. The reason I bring that up is I just decided I really need to beat Pokemon Black, and I don't know, it's another game that's like, I'm over 50 hours into this game, and I'm just kind of sick of it staring at me because of the new one coming out in October. I thought, well, I'm done this, I might as well just beat that. So I'm working on finishing that, which I'm almost done. But I thought, I don't know, you play Pokemon and every 2 steps it's a random battle. It's very frustrating. I thought in this game it was just perfect. Everything was perfectly placed. Like, you'd be in a cave and there'd be some enemies, but it wasn't like every 2 seconds. So it was just perfect. It was like you got to sort of explore, an enemy would come, explore some more, and it was just a good pace. So if you hate the, like, every 2 seconds, it's then this is for you, because I hate that, and this is not like that at all. I've really become a fan of the real-time battle system lately, and this isn't like that, but it was just so well done. I really liked, I loved the battle system. I thought it was great. As far as like every character, all of them had their own personalities. The only character that really doesn't have a personality is Chrono, which isn't that bad because I feel like you're Chrono, so you can put your own personality onto him. But he really has nothing to say. He's sort of a shitty character, in my opinion. But yeah, he's pretty boring. Every other character has something to say, and there's, when there's a cutscene, they'll be conversing, but then there's not really Chrono involved. So he's sort of shitty, but other than that, all the other main characters are really neat. They're all unique. They're all different. It's not a party of all similar kind of people, which is neat, because, I mean, like, I don't know, Robo is completely different from, like, Isla or Magus. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Magus, either way. But yeah, he totally different, and you have all these crazy people in your party, different powers, different stories. Somebody's a caveman and someone's from the future. Like, it's totally, someone's, frogs from the Middle Ages. Like, it's completely out there, which is cool because everybody has different weapons, right? Like, Robo's a robot, so he's got like laser spin and all these different crazy attacks that make sense for a robot. And then you've got Isla, who's a cave woman, and she has like amazing like fist attacks and stuff. She's just like clubbing everybody. And it's totally, I thought that was really unique. You don't just have a party of people all from the same time. They're all like mages and blah blah. This was totally different. So yeah, and I mean, this came out, it was like, the team that did it were referred to as the Dream Team. And it's totally, I get why they said that. I mean, creator of Final Fantasy, creator of Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest, and the like main artist of Dragon Ball. Everything about this game is pretty special, and there's not a lot of games that are like that. So that's another reason. As far as like obtaining the soundtrack, it's probably super expensive. I did look a little bit. I really want it so bad, but we'll see. I mean, the songs are on YouTube, and maybe I'll see if I can find it some way. But this is definitely one of those games where you do want to get the soundtrack after. You want to find it somehow. You need to have it on your iPod. So yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out. I remember in Dustin Crisis' video, he was talking about music. It was like an old video, but how Quarters of Time was so good. Definitely agree. That song is playing in my head right now. That's super nerdy, but it's so good. Everything about this game is so good. I mean, the music when you're in the like prehistory, like 65 million BC era is like so cool. Like, you want to hear it all the time. There was a theme that was played, and I don't know the title of it, but it was played when you were in the Azala's castle, I believe. Or it wasn't called castle. Oh man, I forget. But basically, when you were in that era, you were way back in time, and it was like heavy metal and like super creepy, like very weird. Like, it's just neat. So check the soundtrack out. I mean, even if you've never played this game, this is like neat music. Yeah, and there's so many versions. I was on YouTube the other day and I'm looking up like orchestral versions, and there's a lot of cool stuff out there with this game. So yeah, check that out. As far as like the main villains go in this game, I thought Lavos was pretty cool. I mean, weird concept for sure. I mean, going back through time to destroy him, really neat, really. And Queen Zeal was pretty evil, so there's a lot of neat villains going on here. It's not just one, so that was kind of cool. I mean, and man, that final boss, I mean, they just throw a lot at you. So, yeah, I mean, I should have been more prepared. But if you're more prepared, because I had to go obviously level grind. I mean, it's not ridiculous, but I'd say you should probably be at least at like level 50, 51 if you want to beat it. I mean, that's just me personally, but because I was at level 48 or something, and it was just like, I wanted to just smash everything. Anyway, yeah, so what I also like about this, and I think it's in the PlayStation 1 version as well, but apparently that is not okay, so get the DS version. But yeah, they added special anime cutscenes, which was really cool, because I know that wasn't on the original Super Nintendo version, but really, really cool. I mean, nobody is speaking. There was no voice acting, but it's, there's music and you can hear different sound effects and stuff. I mean, it looked like you were watching Dragon Ball. So there aren't that many, but what's really neat is that in the menu in this game, you can actually go back and rewatch the cutscenes. I know they're all on YouTube, but whatever. I was watching some of them, and the end one is so good and so satisfying. It seriously felt like I watched like the best anime ever, and then I was ending it. So I'm serious. Another thing about this game, and I've only played it once, so I think you can go back and do this, which I may have to check out a couple, but there are alternate endings. I don't know how many. I thought there was like 7 or 8, but there are actually alternate endings. What is really neat is another special thing about this game is that choices you make throughout the game actually alter the ending. Just little things, like seriously little things from at the very start of the game. If you decided to save this little girl's cat, that can affect something. So I thought that was kind of neat. There's certain things like you might be in a town and somebody's asking you like, hey, blah, 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 and you say yes or no to whatever they said. That can actually change stuff at the end. So that's really cool. I forget the ending that I got. I don't know the name of it, but either way, I was happy with the ending I got. Really good. That's really, I don't have too much else to say about it other than it was amazing, and I'm so glad I finally got around to playing this. I seriously recommend it. The other cool thing about the DS version, and I'm sure obviously the original is like this, just harder to come by, is that if you are able to find like a complete like box Chrono Trigger for DS, it comes with a million manuals here because one's in French, but like the manual's actually pretty neat. Like manuals now are really shitty, and I feel like there's like little sentences on each character, and it's like well done and it's full color, and I mean I don't really care about that, but I know some people are really into that, and so they don't really cheap out on that here. So fantastic game. I seriously recommend this. I really liked it because, again, different concept, obviously, but different enough because you go through time. Every character is completely different. It's not your standard RPG in that sense. Great music, great story, great characters, a badass villain. The music is, wow, it's just amazing. So yeah, that's all I have to say about Chrono Trigger. Seriously, buy this game. It is fantastic. I'll see you guys later.